All right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lupagus Show. I am Lupagus going solo tonight, and today we're going to look at some free agent return men. Returner is a underrated need for the Minnesota Vikings this offseason. They went ahead, they took who they thought was going to be the solution in last year's draft, KJ Osborne, in the 5th round. The problem with KJ Osborne is he's a horrible return man. He's got no natural feel for the position. He's got no wiggle. He's got no burst. He can't shake off any tackles, and he also struggled catching the ball. Why the team thought they had to take this guy in round 5, I will never understand. Most draft experts, most teams had this guy going undrafted, and the Vikings and Rick Spielman took him in round 5, and he was a complete and utter failure. So we're going to look at 5 options who the Vikings could bring in free agency, who would be a big upgrade over KJ Osborne. And as rude as I just was to KJ Osborne, I don't think you can write him off completely right now. I think he's going to be in the mix. He'll compete. I think he's a long shot to make the team, and I fully expect him to make a cut before September rolls around this year. So that being said, let's jump right into it. 5 free agent options for Minnesota Vikings as far as return man goes. Let's start with probably the grossest option on the list, and this is a guy I think every year, at least for the last couple of years when I've been writing and doing vids, this is a guy I always want on the team as a return man, at least to compete for. It's Kenyon Barner. This guy has pretty much played for every team in the NFL. I mean, maybe not that many, but he's played for, I think, like at least 9. He's got 7.4 punt return average in his career, 1 career touchdown as far as punts goes, 23.5 return average. You sign this guy, and that's all he does. Kenyon, you're our return man. That's all you got to worry about. I don't care. I don't want you ever touching the ball in the backfield unless, God forbid, we have major injuries. This guy's still electric. He still can make people miss. He's getting up there in age, so he's only got probably a couple years left in the league, but he'd be cheap. He seems to sign with a new team every year. Why not be the Minnesota Vikings? At least you have a guy who's experienced. He's done this for many years in the league. He did it in college. It's what he does. I think he'd be a major upgrade over KJ Osborne. At least he can know a guy. He's going to catch the ball. He's going to make something happen. Might not be a huge game, but better than what we had last year with our 3.7 punt return average, which was just embarrassing. All right, another guy we could look at. We're going to go in the NFC North. We're going to steal a guy from the Packers. Looking at Tyler Ervin. He's actually listed as a running back. This guy has been returning pretty much all his career. I think he was with Houston before he went over to the Packers. He averages 19.6 kick return yards. He's only had 5 punt returns in his career, so he doesn't get a lot of work there. His average is 8.2 yards a punt return, but he does have a long of 57. So this guy's got great burst, great overall speed, great top end speed. I think he's showed that he can be a punt returner. He just hasn't got a ton of reps at it, so I think he'd be fine there. Again, just like Barner, you take him. This is what he does. You're a return man. That's all I want you to worry about. That's all you got to do. And Urban, he is a little bit dangerous. He does have that high end speed, so I think he would be a major upgrade again over what we had last year and the year before that, because everything we've had as far as return man goes in the last couple of years has been nothing but crap. Let's move on to the old man, the old rascal on this list. Andre Roberts, another guy who's pretty much played, I think, for every team in the NFL. He was with Buffalo last year. He's 33 years old, but man, he's still dangerous as hell when the ball gets in his hands. He averaged 9.9 yards a punt return last year. He had 30 returns. He averaged about 30 yards a return last year. 3 career punt return touchdowns, 1 kickoff return touchdown. And the thing is, the league knows about this guy. So you have him on your team. Team's going to respect him. They're going to kick away from him. They're not going to want to kick him the ball. They know what he brings to the table. They know what he can do. Even at his age, he's got great wheels still. And this guy was made to be a punt/kick returner in the league. So you get him. He kind of comes with a pedigree. He comes with a resume. And I think teams would automatically respect your return game, which the Vikings right now have no respect for any aspect of the return game or special teams for that matter. But I think Andre Roberts gives you instant gratification as far as return man goes. Again, a guy who every year he seems to be a free agent. Every year I want to bring him to the Vikings. So maybe this is the year Rick Spielman finally pulls the trigger, shells out some bucks, to bring Andre Roberts to the Vikings. All right, let's move on to another guy from the Packers who I would not mind seeing be our return man next year, and that is wide receiver Tavon Austin. He is 31 years old. He's not much younger than Mr. Roberts. He averaged 7.9 punt returns last year. Or actually, in his career, he's got 3 punt return touchdowns, 18 kick return average. That was his yardage last year. He, you know, as far as the return man goes, this guy's more of a punt returner, hasn't had a ton of reps as the kick returner, but he's fast. Tavon Austin has wheels. He's small. He's sneaky. He's slick. He's a hard man to catch. He's kind of like the rabbit back there. You put him down there, you try, or maybe a chicken. Was that what Rocky was chasing when he was training? I think it was a chicken. Tavon Austin is your chicken. He's hard to catch. So again, you take him in. Tavon, you are a return man. Kick, punt, return. Maybe you'll see the field as a receiver if half our depth chart gets sick or hurt, then you'll see the field as a receiver. But I think that's what you do. You bring him in as your return man. And I think Tavon Austin, major upgrade over KJ Osborne, no doubt in my mind. All right, we're going to end this one on a sexy note. This is the guy I would love to see the Vikings bring in. Again, we're going back to the NFC North, robbing the cradle there. We're going to the Detroit Lions, the kneecap eaters of the NFC North. We're taking their return man. We're taking Jamal Agnew. This guy is extremely dangerous. He averaged 12.7 yards a punt return. He averaged 28 kick return yards every time he brought that ball back. And he wasn't even 100% healthy last year. He's a guy, every time you kick the football, when he's back there, you got to know where he is because he can bring it to the house every single time he touches it. He's got 4 career punt return touchdowns, 1 career kickoff return touchdown. This guy is dangerous as hell. I love Jamal Agnew. Again, I don't know what he's going to cost. That's kind of a good question mark. He doesn't bring you much on offense, so he is just a special teams guy. But he's got the wheels, he's got the hands, he's got the moves, and I think you add him to the Vikings, your special teams gets a huge boost right out the bat. So, yeah, Jamal Agnew, damn. Get me excited just thinking about it. So, all right, there it is. 5 options for the Minnesota Vikings as a return man next year. This is a big need for the team. One they got to figure out, and I think you're going to see a really, they already signed Greg Joseph as a new kicker potentially. I don't think he's a lock to just be handed that job. I think he's got to earn it. But we're going to see a different looking special teams unit. I think you got to have a new returner. Vikings don't have a ton of money to spend in free agency, but I think they'd be very wise to put some of those dollars toward a guy that has some experience returning the football. So any of these guys would be a major upgrade over what's on the roster now. And I would be ecstatic to have any of them. So until then, remember, drink your beer when it's cold, and to always, for God's sakes, keep your skull in your hole and your grandma's.